The YSL snitch Trontavia Stevens has people screaming inside and outside of the courtroom. From tweets saying, "That YSL member in trial has been having me weak. He took that plea deal and is not giving a piece of information," to even, "The dude testifying in the YSL trial is not intelligent enough to play dumb, as evidenced by him taking that dumb plea deal in the first place." As Trontavia Stevens, formerly known as Young Thug's right-hand man in the streets, took a plea deal several months ago. However, on the stand, he seems hesitant to even want a snitch, such as when he was asked to just name the members of his street team.
I mean, are you gonna tell him to stop, or is there a certain amount of people you need to name or anything?
Would you please just name some of them?
Just some of them?
Just name some people. All the ones you remember who were members of Rock.
Everyone?
Mr. Stevens, would you please name the members of Rock Crew who were members while you were a member?
I probably wouldn't even be able to.
As it is hard to tell if this is how Trontavia Stevens actually is in real life, or if he's just putting on an act because he's changed his mind and doesn't want to snitch anymore. But what set the prosecutors really over the edge in anger was his answer when he simply was asked, "How old were you when you joined your first street team?"
What year was it that you recall first being an active or being a member of Rock Crew? You said you were around a certain age. What year was that?
I'll rule that objection.
That means you can answer.
I had to be about 6th grade. So whatever, what you about 11 or 12 in the 6th grade?
Would you tell the jury what year you remember first becoming or being a member of Rock?
I'm trying to count. I'm kind of bad with math. That's why I ain't passed the math part of my GED yet.
Let me ask you a different question while you count.
No, one thing at a time, sorry.
Okay.
As it's very obvious that he is scared on the stand. Taking a plea deal is one thing, but having to go in front of the YSL members you're snitching on and having to share the information to their face could be very nerve-wracking. He was so nervous the prosecutor would turn his testimony into a math lesson.
Were you a member in 2010?
If I was in 6th grade, I'm trying to put what year I was in 6th grade.
How old were you in 2010?
I was trying to do my math.
Don't do the math, let me ask you this. What year were you born?
1993.
1993. So, in 2013, was that an age of about 20, you agree?
2013.
Yep. 93, 2003 is
13,
10, 2013 is 20. Now, we back up 3 years. From 13, that puts us at 2010, which makes you about 17.
You're going too fast.
But Trontavious did his absolute best to not fully snitch on Young Thug. This was making the prosecutors extremely angry, so they just tried making him admit that he's even in a street team. They singled out one of the tattoos located on his neck, as a report goes and reads, "A my body, my choice moment in the Young Thug trial as Trontavious Stevens, aka Slug, explains why he spelled can't with a K on his tattoo. He says, because it was my body, and I wanted to do what I wanted to do with my body."
Why do you have it spelled with a K on the back of your neck?
Because it was my body and I wanted to do what I wanted to do with my body.
And you're entitled.
Right.
Is there any particular reason you chose to change the letter C to a letter K?
I wanted to seem original, so I initially got the initial quote from a movie called Law Abiding Citizens, and that phrase was an important part in the movie. So, and I didn't want people to think that's where I got it from, so I wanted it to seem original, like I thought of it.
However, we know the real reason why he didn't spell the word can't with a C and instead used a K. However, the entire courtroom vibe would just flip from here on out. Trontavious was then asked the question, "What do you call Mr. Williams, aka Jeffrey Williams, aka Young Thug?" To which he replied, "I call him my brother."
Jeffrey Williams. Is that what you call Mr. Williams? Jeffrey Williams?
That's his name.
I understand. What do you call him?
Call him my brother.
What else?
Bruh.
What else?
Old. don't know. I don't feel like I call him Young Thug. That's for like people who don't know him. I call him bruh or my brother. That's how I refer to him, bruh or my brother.
Ever call him Sly?
I call him bruh or my brother.
As sources in the courtroom revealed, once Trontavious said that he calls Young Thug his brother, Young Thug, while watching him say this on the stand, clenched his jaw, started nodding his head back and forth, and it seemed as if like he was trying not to cry. You need to remember Trontavious was Young Thug's right-hand man for a decade. Seeing him on that stand, giving up information cannot be easy for Young Thug to watch. Next, the prosecutors in Thug's trial would then want Trontavious to answer what the term snitching actually means.
Mr. Stevens, what does snitching mean to you?
It doesn't mean anything to me, but I'm aware of the term that you, yes, I'm aware.
What is the meaning of the term? What's the definition?
It doesn't mean anything to me, but I'm aware of the term.
How are you aware of the term?
I've heard the term.
How do you understand the term to be used?
I really don't fully understand the term.
Ms. Love, this might be a stopping point at this point in time, okay?
As he claims the word snitching doesn't mean anything to him, which is really funny because the next talking point is Trontavious revealing that there's a certain gas station at 221 Cleveland Avenue, which is where YSL does all of their selling.
The gas station at 221 Cleveland Avenue is a location where YSL associates sell.
Are your initials next to number 13?
Yes.
Did anyone force you to put your initials next to them?
No.
With Trontavious Stevens getting into very serious evidence now, Young Thug's lawyers tried putting a stop to it, objecting the statements that he was making, and this ended up making the judge extremely angry.
This is testified.
I'm objecting at this point.
Hey, Mr. Harvey, we're not going to have any of that. I'll sustain your objection, okay? We're not going to be belligerent to one another. You can rephrase.
Yes.
Just please sit down, okay? I don't need any help from you, okay? All right, and there's no objection on the floor. So, all right?
My objection, Your Honor, to that last series is that the court, I would ask the court to allow the witness.
He's finished the statement. There's nothing else. It's like if he asks to continue his statement, then fine. But sit down and stop interrupting, Mr. Matthews. Mr. Stevens, are you finished with your last response, or did you finish? Was there anything else you were going to say?
As this is where the arguments start brewing outside of the courtroom. Trontavious Stevens is obviously not fully cooperating and answering the questions truthfully. Now, there is talks of his plea deal now being taken back from him. So with those arguments beginning to rise, we're now also seeing Lil Baby get into the mix as he is frustrated that Young Thug is even going through this. Lil Baby believes that Young Thug is only in this mess because of Gunna. In Lil Baby's new song this week, titled 350, he goes and states the lyrics, "Ain't never said nothing about it, boy, you know that you a rat." Now, this has gone viral on social media that Young Thug's father would hop on an interview defending Gunna and telling Lil Baby to stay quiet.
How do you feel about Lil Baby throwing at Gunna for his plea deal? For his plea?
He need to shut the fuck up, cause he don't know what's going on. You know, he's going off of what he heard. Ask Lil Baby, have he ever came to a court date?
Oh, okay.
See, that's what I want y'all to ask these damn rappers and these bloggers with this whole snitch shit and this. When have y'all went to a court date to support Slime, to support Jeffrey, to support Thug, however you want to name it? Go on their social media pages and say, why in the haven't you been at the courthouse to support your dude? And I guarantee you won't get an answer.
As Young Thug's father would end up defending Gunna in this situation, as according to Thug's father, Gunna isn't even the main reason that Young Thug is in the situation he's in.
Courtney said, how do you feel about Gunna?
I love Gunna.
See, that's the thing. People don't understand the relationship. They got this thing saying that Gunna is a rat and he's done this and done that. But
but see, let me try to help the attorney clarify that a little simpler.
okay.
Gunna hasn't done anything whatsoever that can hurt us on this case. Period.
As according to Young Thug's father, when Gunna's snitching video was leaked and he said yes ma'am to all of the questions that the judge asked him, it apparently wasn't snitching in his eyes. However, you let me know if this sounds like snitching.
Not you agree or acknowledge that statements are true, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I became affiliated with YSL around 2016. Is that true as it pertains to you, Mr. Kitchens?
Yes, ma'am.
YSL is a music label and you have personal knowledge that members or associates of YSL have committed crimes in furtherance.
Yes, ma'am.
You were present when law enforcement officers stopped a vehicle in which you were present along with Jeffrey Williams, wherein hydrocarbons and a firearm were recovered. These items did not belong to you.
Yes, ma'am.
And do you acknowledge the following statement? I recognize, accept, and deeply regret that my talent and music indirectly furthered YSL to the detriment of my community. YSL again. Is that your statement or acknowledgement?
Yes.
However, Young Thug may not even have these issues for much longer, as it would be reported before the trial resumed this week. With the Young Thug RICO trial still on break, expect Young Thug's lawyers to push for a mistrial this week. The prosecutors have provided little to zero evidence thus far, and it seems like they need more time. And when listening to Trontavious Stevens on the stand, he didn't provide any evidence either. Now, this entire situation is making the judge extremely angry, as it seems like a huge waste of time. You may remember just 2 weeks ago, the judge even had to ask the prosecutor to stay out of his business.
Is there anything else at this point in time?
Your Honor, did your number 39?
Yo, would you stay out of my business, Miss Love?
Oh, well.
Stay out of my business.
Judge,
Look,
I'm sorry.
I've been doing this a long time. Yes, I have, yes. And if you really must know, she's going to reschedule her appointment to the week of the King holiday. You happy? No, you're not happy. But anyways, that's the explanation you're going to get. I'm on top of it. Okay. All right. Yes, Mr. Sharp.
As this wouldn't even be the first time the judge had to scream inside of the courtroom either, as this is him screaming on the first day of trial.
Your Honor, we would ask, because we would ask that all of this be reserved for the 16th, because this all came up in September. You said you allowed us to.
I am really annoyed about this, Miss Hilton. I just am. This is ridiculous. Your witness list has grown by 2/3 since then. And I don't know why. You better have a dang good explanation on the 16th, because if you don't, I'm going to exclude it. Okay. But right now I'm telling you, without anything further, it's gone.
Well, we would like to
exclude a lot more on that date, because this is ridiculous. There is no plausible explanation I've gotten and that would suffice, that we just kind of keep, you keep dripping and driving out evidence.
This is all stressed out the judge so much to the point he had to announce inside of the courtroom to everyone he now needs a service dog to help him calm down.
Here behind me is this bell that starts jingling, all right? And if you hear a jingling sound like a bell, please don't think that I'm doing anything creepy up here, all right? I have a service dog behind me. His name is Jack. I think some of you may have seen him already. He lives the best life ever. He's pampered. He's really, and he is a Labrador Retriever. He's about almost 2.5, 3 years old at this point in time. So, but if you hear that bell, that's him moving around, all right? He doesn't bark. He rarely gets interested in what's going on, so he might come up here and look, but that's about it, all right? Don't bring him any food either, okay? All right? He is spoiled rotten, so please don't try and throw any food back here behind me or anything like that. He doesn't need anything else, okay? But if you hear that bell, hear that sound,